我现在请安哥拉代表发言。
Mr. President, distinguished members of the Security Council, Excellencies, I congratulate the People's Republic of China on its able leadership of the Security Council and for convening this important meeting. This debate takes place at a pivotal moment in international relations. Multilateralism is under growing pressure. International law and humanitarian principles are increasingly being challenged. The authority of the Security Council and the credibility of the United Nations are being tested. Mr. President, allow me to make 3 brief points. First, respect for UN Charter and international law. The UN Charter remains the foundation of the international order and of the collective security system. Its principles, sovereign equality, territorial integrity, and the peaceful settlement of disputes must be applied universally and without selectivity. In fact, selective interpretation of international norms weakens trust among nations and undermines multilateral cooperation. Angola reaffirms its opposition to unilateral coercive measures, which are contrary to the international law and the principles governing the peaceful relation among states, in line with the positions of regional and continental organizations, such as the Southern Africa Development Community SADC and the African Union regarding Zimbabwe, as well as numerous General Assembly resolutions concerning Cuba. We must prioritize multilateralism over unilateralism, dialogue over confrontation, and collective responsibility over isolated actions. Second, strengthening the UN-centered international system. The United Nations must adequately equipped to respond to present and emerging challenges while remaining faithful to its founding mandate. All disputes must be resolved through peaceful means in accordance with the Charter. No state should unlawfully interfere in the international affairs of another sovereign nation. At the same time, accountability mechanisms must be strengthened to ensure that violations of international law do not go unpunished. Third, reforming the Security Council. Comprehensive reform of the Security Council remains essential in order to achieve a more democratic and equitable global governance structure capable of responding more effectively to new and emerging peace and security challenges. Such council reform must address Africa's underrepresentation as a matter of historical justice and recognize it as a special case based on 2005 Esulwini Consensus and the Sirte Declaration, which called for 2 permanent seats and 2 additional non-permanent seats for Africa. The Council must also act with unity, credibility, and shared responsibility. The use of the veto should be guided by accountability and restraint, especially in situations involving grave violations of international humanitarian and human rights law. Enhanced cooperation between permanent and elected members is also crucial to restoring confidence in the Council's effectiveness. Mr. President, Africa's security landscape is becoming increasingly complex, driven by non-state armed groups, regional tensions, and humanitarian crises. Addressing these challenges requires national leadership, regional ownership, and sustainable international support. Angola remains firmly committed to conflict prevention and the pursuit of peaceful solutions across the African continent. In this regard, Angola will host an African Union Summit on Peace and Security from 1st to 2nd August 2026 under the initiative of His Excellency João Manuel Gonçalves Lourenço, President of the Republic, with the aim of promoting practical commitments towards peace, stability, and sustainable development in Africa. Finally, we reaffirm our conviction that the UN Charter is not merely an historical document. It is a shared pact for peaceful coexistence among nations, and it must continue to guide our collective action. I thank you.
感谢安哥拉代表的发言。